So I'm just gonna go down the list. So we start with digestion starts in the mouth. So we're going to start with some saliva glands. So carotid gland is going to be around the ear, right here. Submandibular is going to be under the mandible. Those are the two saliva glands that we're going to be looking at. Esophagus is the tube that food goes down after you swallow. Then we go to stomach, which is behind the liver right here. Stomach inside, there are the gastric rugae. Gastric rugae are the folds inside of it. So when you put things in the stomach and it wants to expand, it has some structure so that it can expand. So that's all that is, gastric rugae. The duodenum is the section of the small intestine right after the stomach. So duodenum starts right after the stomach ends, after the pyloric sphincter, going into the small intestine. Then I think there is a technical definition of the lengths of where jejunum starts and then ileum begins, but you can just think of that as the main parts of the small intestine. It goes duodenum, which is kind of short, then jejunum, and then ileum. Ileum is the last part of the small intestine, and that's important to know because of the ileocecal junction. In ileocecal, you can hear ileum and cecum. Ileum is the last part of the small intestine. Cecum is the first part of the large intestine, right here. So then the ileocecal junction is really the junction between small and large intestine. So that's why it's a significant structure, because we are connecting the large intestine right here to the small intestine over here. The cecum is the first part of large intestine. Then you go to, as named as the direction that things are going in, ascending colon, transverse colon, and then descending colon, and then right at the end, this model doesn't really show it well, but usually it kind of goes curvy right at the end. That's why it's called sigmoid. You can hear the S in that. Sigmoid means kind of curvy. I don't really know what it means. But usually it's depicted on models better. Here it doesn't really depict that, so that's why it's sigmoid. So it would be cecum, ascending colon, transverse, descending, sigmoid, and then rectum. So that's the entire digestive tract. Now there's a couple of accessory organs that help us digest, and those are going to be around the stomach and the liver. The first one I will point out is right behind the stomach is going to be pancreas. Whenever we're looking at any type of gland, it's going to look like cottage cheese. So we already saw the glands up here, the saliva glands. Those kind of look like cottage cheese, like little cubes. That's also the case with the pancreas. So right behind the stomach is going to be pancreas right here. Then the liver is the big structure that is above the stomach right here. This one is hard to miss. And then gallbladder is really associated with the liver. So underneath the liver is this green part, is the gallbladder. This is where all the bile and the things that the liver is going to excrete, it will first come through with the gallbladder and then it will be excreted. So that's why these two are very tightly associated. Finally, we have kidneys. These two beans right here. Kidneys, ureters are the tubes that come out of the kidneys right here and that feed into the urinary bladder down here. And then finally we have male or female reproductive system. Adrenal glands are going to be it looks like cottage cheese more on other models, but it's also a gland, and those are going to sit on top of the kidneys.